It is time to load some 30-30 with Hornady's 160 grain FTX polymer tipped bullets and Hodgdon's lever evolution powder. Hey guys, Gavin here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm pretty excited. I've loaded exactly one 30-30 cartridge. I just test fired it. I did not blow up my beautiful new Henry X model. You're going to want to check out the full video on this rifle. This is a tactical 30-30 lever gun. We've had a ton of fun with this thing, and I mean a ton. But we were shooting factory ammunition in the first video. So I thought it was time to pull together some Hornady components and equipment and do a totally killer 30-30 loading Rev 1. Okay, so we're going to be following up. This is brand new brass we got here from Hornady. We're not sizing it this time. We're going to do that in a follow-up video. So we've got the brand new Hornady 30-30 cases. We've got Hornady's 160 grain FTX bullet. These FTX bullets have a polymer tip. They are a tipped bullet that's safe for tubular magazines like what you find in a lever gun. We're also using Hodgdon's lever evolution powder. This was the powder that Hornady has been using in their factory ammunition. Hodgdon has made it available to the public as a 30-30 special, but it's also good for a couple other things. And the claim to fame with this powder is velocity. So in this video, we're not only going to do some loading, but we're going to check it over the chronograph to see what kind of velocity that we can get. So I've done a little experimentation. I went up to the max. I do not recommend doing this. Do not do this. I went straight to max, which is 37 grains. That is a compressed load. This is a ball powder, meters very well out of a progressive. My friend Guy Miner, who you've seen here on the channel, has never loaded ammo on a progressive, so I thought I'd jump with my 30-30 straight to progressive. I think he's going to be doing some stuff on his single stage and turret gear at home, so it'll be very interesting to compare those results. Also, I've got the Hornady Lock and Load AP press. I've got Hornady 2-die set for 30-30, and I've got the Hornady number 2 shell plate, which is for 30-30 win, 32 win special, and others. I did not have this number 2 shell plate, just got it in the shop, and so I'm really excited to have this capability now to load ammo for the Henry Model X. Let me next go over the setup of the machine. So one of the things I really like about the Hornady Lock and Load AP is it's very simple to set up, especially if you do not have a case feeder. This is kind of my go-to progressive machine for quick caliber changes and loading rifle ammunition. It does a super job. So I had the machine set up for 7.62 by 39. So I took off my, which number is this? This is the number 6 plate, which is both for 38-357 and 7.62 by 39. I have it Sharpied right on there. And then I also had a couple dies. Another cool thing about this press, 1/8 of a turn, you can lift both dies out or the powder measure out. So I swapped out my number 6 shell plate for the number 2. This circumferential spring pops right off. It's what retains the cases at each station. So that's definitely really easy to, I put a couple bushings in. Now I set up my sizer die by screwing it all the way down to meet the shell plate at the top of the stroke. I tightened everything down and then removed it because we're using brand new brass, so there's no need to size. Just confirmed that with this round of ammunition that I loaded and fired. I also had to screw out the powder measure to raise it so that when it's case activated, it's near the top of its rotation, but not completely bottomed out. I set the charge for 37 grains. I'm really liking this portable Hornady scale. This is number 050104, the G3 1500. I have a complete video on that. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's been very accurate. It's battery powered. So I use that to dial in powder charges. So I had to increase the powder charge quite a bit for my 7.62 by 39 after raising the powder measure. Got it right at 37 as a ball powder, metering very consistently. Now this die, this bullet seating die from Hornady, can crimp and seat bullets at the same time. One little side note, you can see I have my 30-30 win little label on there. That's a good idea because the Hornady bullet seating dies are not marked. They have the same die body and they swap out internal pieces. So I'm going to use my laser engraver for this, but I thought it'd be great to just start with the label maker to label that in case my dies get tossed around the shop, which they do with multiple guys loading ammo here. I've also got the KMS squared UFO press light. This thing, as you can see, is almost blinding, which is great when you're doing a visual powder check. So I also used the Primafill from Double Alpha Academy. This thing is totally awesome. Loaded some Wolf primers. Here I'm using Wolf large rifle primers. Loaded the tube really quick. I've got the weighted rod in here and proceeded to put one case through the entire set of stations. Verified the powder charge. Again, you want to let that settle in and check it a few times. Verified my bullet seating depth. I'm down to 1/2,000th of an inch, which is pretty funny for lever action ammunition. Plenty close, definitely. Very consistent bullets as well, which is good. Cannular landed in just the right place. So I mentioned this can crimp and seat. I'm starting with just seating. And if I find I'm gonna want to crimp the case mouth into that cannular just a touch, I can lower the die and then raise that seating stem to get the bullet seating depth back to where we need to go. So with that, the press is completely set up. Next, it's time to load some ammo. So let me go through the stations really quick. In station number 1, we normally have sizing and depriming. Like I said, I've just removed that die because we don't need it for this. In station number 2, we have priming at the bottom, and I'd like to leave this station open because we don't really need that. In station number 3, we've got the powder charge. Station number 4, I would like to put a powder check. I don't have that set up right here on this machine right now, but that would be a great idea. I'm doing a visual powder check instead, which is easy this time because it's compressed load and we're up towards the top. Station number 5, I have the bullet seating and crimping, but I don't have crimping active. I've got the inline fabrication ultra mount with quick change. It's got the extended beefed up bin bracket, which is a really great thing because the Hornady one is a little bit on the flimsy side. Okay, and I've also got 2 bins here, one with brand new brass and one with 160 grain Hornady FTX 30 cal bullets. So each time we're going to put a piece of brass in station number 1, and then down at the bottom of the stroke, I'm going to push forward. These are fairly tight primer pockets, which is actually a good thing, so I'm going to hold the back of the press while I prime. If you're used to a turret or a single stage, you can see we're going to be dumping powder here in station number 3. When you step up to a progressive from those other types of presses, you're going to find you're going to be like a rocket ship. It is so much faster to load ammo on a progressive, and you know, this particular setup has plenty of precision for this particular application. Would you want to load match ammunition on it? Maybe, depends on the match. So as you can see, each time we're going to put in a piece of brass, we're going to place a bullet. We're just going to take our time, right? Because we're already screaming for loading 30-30. You know, if you're used to that single stage, this is orders of magnitude faster. One note is that we've got the sliding collar here on the cedar die, and when I place my bullet, I'm just mindful of, you can even tip it a little bit so that it goes right up into the sleeve, and then the sleeve will do its job guiding the bullet. So that's basically all there is to the process of loading this ammunition. I'm going to load a bunch more, and then we're going to go out and shoot this across the chronograph. Well, that was fun. Right from the get-go, we were seeing some really amazing velocity. By the way, you might have noticed I'm using the AXIL TRACKR Ear Pro. We've been using these for a while on the channel. They're working really good, and if you click on that link down in the video description, I can get you 15% off. Let's take a look at what velocity was yielded here. So we were using the Omega 300 suppressor from Silencer Co., and this is just the Henry X model that you saw in the last video. We saw an average velocity of 2,453.2 feet per second out of this 160 grain projectile. Now, I was just talking to Guy Miner about this. He was saying that with 170 grain projectiles that he's familiar with, he's down in the 2,100 or thereabout foot per second range. So some of these we had one 2505. We were 2450 3.2 average, that is smoking, that is cooking. Now we did have a standard deviation of about 36 feet per second on that. And so if we really wanted to get that down for better long range accuracy, we might want to do a little bit of load development to see what adjusting that powder charge could do, up or down. Another note, I went straight to max as I noted previously in the video. If you've got an older lever gun, pay special attention and work your way up. Shoot reduced power loads if you'd like to. That's the great thing about a non-semi-auto, is you don't have to worry about cycling and functioning in that way. Now, we've got a lot more 30-30 content coming up. Guy Miner has been working with the Berry's 170 grain bullets with some subsonic loads. We've got more suppressed action. I'm going to be doing some 100-yard shooting and beyond. Lots of fun to be had. Here's what I'd like to know from you. A, what did you think of my progressive reloading setup? I'm actually really happy with this. Very smooth running, and I can crank out this ammo in a hurry, which is going to help because I'm going to be shooting this X model a lot. Actually, the whole team will be. This is a team favorite, this X model. What are you loading for 30-30? What kind of brass are you using? What kind of bullets? What kind of powder? What kind of velocity are you getting? What are you shooting? Are you hunting with it? Are you shooting steel like we do here? Drop a comment and we'll start a discussion. Make sure you're subscribed. A lot more lever action content coming up. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, make your voice heard. If you have something to say, please drop a comment. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications because you're not going to want to miss the awesome content that is coming up. And finally, flex your reloading pride. You could look great in one of these t-shirts. We've got multiple designs at the Ultimate Reloader store. I'll see you later because I'm off to go shooting.